couple weeks ago. They look so sweet.
Matt, we are talking about possibly the longest title in Al's catalog.
Let me stop you right there. Confirmed.
Yeah.
The longest title
There we go.
of any of Al's songs. It is true.
The attack of the radioactive hamsters from a planet near Mars. Potentially Neptune? Who knows?
Well, I think it's, I mean, we have to assume it's Earth, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
There's the nearest planet to Mars is definitely Earth, unless there's some planet Al knows about that we don't. Because the distance from Mars to Jupiter is really far, right? Isn't there an asteroid belt between them? I'm really going back to my I'm going back to my schooling right now.
Man,
hey guys,
I need to go to a planetarium and remind myself about this stuff.
Not to brag, but I did go to public school.
Matt, I'm going to tell you something right now. I can't believe we're already on this tangent. We haven't even talked about the song. I have had this experience on 3 different occasions in the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me wants to just go sit in a planetarium like it was high school and just like, I feel like I would appreciate the planetarium experience more as an adult than I did as a kid.
Let me tell you something. You will. As someone who has been to a planetarium, not super recently, but fairly recently, I'm actually very lucky. One of my oldest friends from that public school I was talking about, she now works at the Museum of Natural History in New York City. And so anytime I want to go there, she's able to get me in and get me those like passes and stuff. And the planetarium experience is amazing. Yeah. Kid or adult, I don't know. I don't know how you could sit there and watch those shows or learn about the scale of the solar system and the galaxy, the universe as we know it.
I'm going to campaign for this. That my high school had a planetarium in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mine did too, actually.
I should campaign maybe for when they need to raise funds. Hey, have an adults only planetarium night. I'd pay $10.
There you go. It's a great idea, man. I wish I could remember his name. The guy who ran the planetarium in my town was incredible, and he came to school every day wearing a Star Trek shirt.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Oh my God. I'm so sad I cannot remember his name because he deserves to be recognized. He was just one of those teachers who was amazing. And honestly, it was mostly field trips, when you're younger, but he did have an astronomy class that I did not take because it was just not, it wasn't something I was going to use, but boy, I now wish that I had because it turns out I didn't use anything that I learned in school. I might as well have taken astronomy.
Same. So this one was recorded during the 5th recording session for the album, which was held on May 24th, 1989. So I know that we don't dive too much in the recording session stuff, but this is very interesting because it kind of ties to something that you had predicted earlier.
Okay.
So session 1 on this album was Money for Nothing. That was it.
Sure. Makes sense.
Session 2 was UHF and Let Me Be Your Hog.
Okay.
Session 3 was Fun Zone and Gandhi 2. And session 4 was just Spatula City.
Wow.
3 months later, they went in for sessions 5 and 6 to record all of the other songs on this album. So I think your theory that they looked at what they had and said, this is not enough. we need more.
Yeah, the album, the movie is just not.
It's not a musical movie for a movie.
I know,
made by
which
a
is
musician.
odd. You think? I mean, maybe the studio thought they were like, oh, he's going to just make a music. Like, there's going to be plenty of music, and Al just did not make that. So yeah, they had no choice. They had to bulk it out if they wanted to release a soundtrack. They did not have enough content, and it's a shame because So based on that, because I was going to ask, I didn't know for sure. I don't think there was ever a scenario where this was going to be in the film. Because boy, does this seem like a setup for a bit.
It does. So I mean, the name is very self-explanatory. It's a rock song about a number of mutated hamsters terrorizing Earth. First off, Googled the lyrics for this. Google came through in a big way for me because it listed the genre as electropop, which, sure.
You know what? I don't know, Google. Google's attempting to get genres is really not AI is not that good, you guys. Don't worry.
No, it's a real struggle. This song, I'm not sure about you, but this song reminds me a lot of a weird hybrid of Slime Creatures from Outer Space mixed with Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White. Like, it has a very similar, like, this is just Al doing a generic rock song vibe.
Musically, absolutely. And then I would also just throw in, it also definitely sits very comfortably with something like Nature Trail to Hell.
Yes.
This is him a little like pitch in song form for a larger idea, for a film, for a series, whatever it is. This is his like quick pitch to the execs. What do you think of my idea?
So you've got a better ear for stuff than me in this sense. Is there a theremin in this chorus, or is that a synthesizer set to sound like a theremin? Because I didn't see theremin anywhere on the personnel.
You know,
for this
Steve
album.
J did not allow them to borrow his theremin this time. Yeah. He was like, last time it had dent on the corner. So no way.
This thing ain't cheap.
There are no theremins credited. It does sound like it could be a theremin, but at this point, it might have just been a synthesizer sound that they dialed up to emulate the sound of a theremin. I mean, a theremin is just classic sci-fi sound effect. You know, it's 101 if you're going to do a extraterrestrial themed tone. So, but again, it's not credited. I don't know. Maybe Steve didn't feel like it needed to be credited this time. I don't know.
So another weird thing to think about with this album is also WeirdAlFandom.com lists this song. They always try to compare it to something, and it listed this as a style parody of the B-52s, which, like, absolutely
not. I was going to say, I wrote it down. I looked it up on the old, it's one of the old Weird Al forums, and Bermuda Schwartz confirmed that this is not a style parody of anything.
Yeah.
This is just an original song. Yep.
You told me something interesting the last time I saw you in person, which is that this is Alexander Hamilton himself, Lin-Manuel Miranda's favorite Weird Al song, potentially.
He said, I don't know if he specifically said it was his all-time favorite, but there is a great clip of Al on Jimmy Fallon, and the two guests are Al and Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Al is announcing the Vanity Tour and talking about what it's going to be. And Lynn gets so excited and looks at him. He was like, we're going to be playing all originals. And Lynn is like Attack of the Radioactive Hamsters from a Planet Near Mars? And Al's like, yeah, I like that. And you can tell he has a look on his face like, we're definitely not playing that song. Yeah.
I was going to say,
Lynn asked very enthusiastically about this song specifically.
And you know, a little behind the scenes, I may have emailed Lin-Manuel Miranda's agent to see if he would be interested in talking about the song with us. I didn't give him a lot of time. It was maybe 2-3 weeks before our recording session.
You know, my understanding is that Lynn is an absolute Weird Al fiend. So
yes.
I think that we will. I can't imagine a scenario where we can where we don't. If Lynn wants to talk about Al, I'm sure we can make it happen. Side note. I just checked the liner notes quick, and there's no theremin listed on this track.
Okay.
I just wanted to put that out there. No theremins, just synthesizers.
Okay. So I would love to have Lin-Manuel on this episode for no other reason than, I don't know about you, but this being like assumedly your favorite Weird Al song is kind of wild to me. Because I think this song is, and this isn't me being mean, I think this song's kind of mid. Like this song is good.
Yeah.
But there's so many other greats that came before and after it that I'm just like, this is a wild one to be like the one that you're putting your flag in the sand for. So
I will say, I like this. Maybe I like it more than you based on that. I get the fact, and I don't know if I might be projecting too much here, but I can appreciate why Lynn would like it as someone who's into theater.
Yeah.
Because this is a great little bit of theater in a song. Like, this is, talk about like a song that gets you some exposition, tells you a story. I can envision someone delivering this on a stage to set the scene of what's actually happening here. It's very, musically, it's really well written.
The chorus is awesome. I think the chorus does some really cool things.
Yeah, the chorus is awesome. There's I love the bridge part of the song that has the dueling sax and guitar solos.
Yes. Oh, the horns are doing some cool stuff on this too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got the big, way over the top theatrical finale at the end, like the Vegas cabaret, like dun 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 da. You know, it's got this. It's very, very theatrical in the way that it's done. I think this is. I mean, I think this will invite a lot of comparisons to Slime Creatures.
Yes,
which is totally fair. I might like this more than Slime Creatures.
See, I definitely don't.
See, there you go. There you go. And it's funny because, again, okay, so we're talking about space creatures, but this also, talking about Al's themes, the same general idea of like, it's funny because in Slime Creatures, the idea is supposed to be that these slime creatures are destroying the planet and everyone is just mildly annoyed at worst.
Yeah.
That's like, and in this one, that is not the case. It is a full-on battle from the jump. Everyone is fighting these hamsters right away.
91 Donkey Lane is a magical apartment complex that contains immense power, but lacks intelligent inhabitants.
What is happening?
I'm getting texts.
Why are we getting a lot of texts?
People found out what we did.
Oh, dividing Mike Myers into an infinite amount of tiny Mike Myers?
Listen to 91 Donkey Lane for free on Spotify or your favorite podcasting app. More at 91donkeylane.com. See you there, you donkeys.
It sounds like one of two things, right? You can pull one of two things from the lyrics of this song, I think.
Yep.
So like the first verse, he says, "They showed up on my doorstep a couple weeks ago. They look so sweet and harmless. Tell me, how was I to know? They got a little too close to the microwave, and then much to my surprise, they grew to 40,000 times their original size. They started mutating right before my eyes."
That does, again, imply that they are from Earth. They are from Earth, right?
Yes.
Because that the way that
Sort
tells
of.
that,
So-
a planet near Mars, they are just Earth hamsters who got a little too close to the microwave. And as happens,
So I was going to say, one of two things
happen.
happen then. They either, Al is the catalyst for all of this. He is the person who has caused this by letting the hamsters get too close.
Totally
but then
his
you get
fault.
then you get to the chorus. Attack of the radioactive hamsters from a planet near Mars. A race from a distant place. They came in UFOs shaped like Cuban cigars. So
Yeah.
it does imply that they came here, which makes me think that maybe it's actually more the "Don't Feed the Plants" ending of Little Shop of Horrors, where these perfectly harmless hamsters were unexpectedly dropped on multiple people's doorsteps and made their way to the microwave to enact their intense growth.
So it's a double whammy. I see what you're saying. You might be right about that. So they were intergalactic hamsters, but they were totally
Yes.
fine. And they just reacted so poorly to our microwave technology. Mm-hmm. They just showed up totally peaceful, chill, happy to be hamsters. And then
I think that they came with malicious intent. But they were
couldn't
like,
do anything because they were so small.
They're like, they knew that the microwave would create their evilness. So like, let's just look cute, get into these homes, and find our way to the closest microwave, and then we can start to grow.
I wonder how big these Cuban cigar-shaped UFOs actually were if the hamsters arrived at small size.
Yeah.
How many hamsters fit in a single Cuban cigar-shaped UFO? I have to really be careful when I say that. They look so sweet and harmless. You're right. We don't have all of the information we need, but let's continue through the lyrics and maybe we'll learn more.
Right,
The
so
president, he's in a panic. The Pentagon, they're in shock. There's a team of research scientists. They got him working around the clock. Now the National Guard is out in my backyard and the Marines will be coming round. I hope they get these lousy rodents out of my town because the property values are going way down. So there is, again, the joke of the world is being destroyed and this guy is most concerned with his property value declining.
Also, the rhyme of the National Guard is out in my backyard is just a beautiful rhyme. Like, it's just
Very, very well done.
Yeah,
Very
like-
well done. Yeah.
and it's one of those I forget what the official phrase is, but it's like it's a rhyme within a different rhyme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like
We got to get MC Lars back on. He could definitely tell us all about that.
yeah, because that's like kind of on a standalone with panic, shock. So they're rhyming shock to clock, and round to town and down. But before all of that is just this quick guard backyard rhyme that just pops in the center of it. It's very...
Right.
He does some cool stuff in this song, honestly.
Yes,
and the
he
chorus,
does, yeah.
The chorus has like in the middle of the chorus, the entire rhythm of the chorus changes for 2 lines and then goes back.
Yep.
I wish I knew some of these fancy terms, but I don't.
No, you're saying it exactly right. There's like switches to upbeats. The chorus, the form changes. There's a great little moment in there in the final chorus of the song where he does that. They keep me up at night playing their electric guitars, and then the guitar takes a little solo which skips a line, so the lyric form changes. Like, from a musical perspective, and maybe this is where we're going to differ on this. This is going to be another Got a Boogie scenario, because musically, I think this is brilliant. This is a really, really well-constructed song. There's moments in his catalog where I listen to the song and I'm just like, this is like perfect. Like, I don't think anyone could write a better arrangement of a track like this than what Al has done here. And
I'm looking at, it's funny, while we're talking this, I keep looking at my list of original songs and trying to like pinpoint where it's going to land.
Yeah.
And like right now, I'm of the mindset that I like Slime Creatures better. Mm-hmm. But the other song I compared this to, Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White, I like this better than Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White. So it's going to fall somewhere in between those 2 songs. And now it's just trying to narrow it down between the 5 songs that exist in between those 2 of like, what is the spot?
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that we try not to reference songs that haven't happened yet, but similarly to how I said Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White musically reminds me of She Never Told Me She Was a Mime, I would say the exact same thing with the music of this. Like, there is a very specific Weird Al rock song sound that he creates on some of these songs that are just like undeniably not style parodies. They're just originals that never does it for me. I don't know what it is. I don't like the sound of these 3 songs does not like work for me. I think that this one does the most interesting things out of those 3 songs, which is probably why I like it the most out of them.
Yeah.
But
this is funny because I don't really think of this as being that similar to something like Stuck in a Closet or She Never Told Me. It's more rockin', but arrangement-wise and musically, it actually reminds me more of something like Midnight Star.
I could see that.
Of like, again, it's heavier, so it's got more like electric guitars, and maybe it's like the glam hair metal elements that are the things that you don't like so much, because there's definitely some of that in this song. Yeah, musically, the way it's written, it feels to me more like something like Midnight Star. But even compared to that, yeah, it's got an epicness to it that reminds me of that song. Or even Nature Trail to Hell, I feel like is actually a closer reference to this.
Yeah. I just think that you're naming all songs that I think are better than this song ultimately. Like, well, I think I've pinpointed where I want to put it on my list. Well, I mean, I think we still have a few more things to say, but I think I've landed on a spot now that we've talked about this. But
are we supposed to believe? I'm just going to
let's
analyze the lyrics
lyrics
here a little bit more here, because, and again, it's a great pitch because he's not giving us all the information. We can develop this together.
This is a very Mars Attacks with hamsters type vibe.
Very Mars Attacks, exactly. I think that are we supposed to believe that the radioactive hamsters are eating people? He does throw in the they're back and they're looking for a snack and they're not that fond of Burger Kings or salad bars.
Yeah.
So I think
he also says they're going to stomp us into jelly and conquer the world, which makes me think that maybe they are just mutated hamsters just doing hamster things and don't realize that they're killing a bunch of tiny insect-like people now underneath their massive paws.
Yeah, maybe. Again, it's unclear how malicious these creatures actually are, and if this is just side effects of them. As he says, I love the line, they think the whole stinking world is their exercise wheel.
Yeah.
Great line. Maybe they're just doing hamster things, but if they were, I don't believe hamsters are carnivorous, right? So they wouldn't care about eating people. What do they eat? Pellets.
I mean, he says that they're eating a telephone pole. You're using a telephone pole to pick their teeth.
Right. So that checks out. I can imagine them scratching a telephone pole, right?
Yeah.
And also look at that hamster. He's as big as a blimp, and there's one the size of Central Park. I mean, that's very big.
That's a very large hamster, right there.
That's bigger. That's bigger than like Cloverfield.
Yeah,
That's a tremendous hamster. Now that's really bad. And then again, it points out, don't waste any more of your bullets, boys. It just makes them mad when you shoot. Oh, they also glow in the dark.
Yeah,
which
I saw that.
again, part of the
that could be the
radioactivity.
radioactiveness from
Yeah,
the microwave.
that's just the microwave side. I don't know. So what is this song about, Matt? Is this song about how our technology can only lead to our downfall? We've invented this microwave technology, and now look what it's done to us. We've demonized an intergalactic race of hamsters. I don't know why I went to vampires.
I would say more likely than not.
Right?
It's just a song that Al wrote really quickly because he needed more songs for the UHF soundtrack.
Yeah, maybe he didn't think it through. That maybe he didn't put in the I want a new duck levels of research on this, and he just was like, we're gonna just come up with something fun. It does again. It hits
feels
a
like
lot of the
something that
same-
would be viewed on U2062.
It absolutely does. And that's kind of the shame of it, is I wish there was some version, like, can't you just envision Al, like, in the context of UHF, trying to make a monster movie using actual hamsters and doing the old school shots of, like,
Maybe if you remember our commentary track episode, Raoul's Animal Kingdom was supposed to be a much bigger plot in the movie, but the actor unfortunately passed away while they were making the movie. Maybe he hired Raoul's services to make a giant hamster movie.
I so wish that we had a version of this where we could see. I don't know. I just really feel like this must have been a sketch idea at some point in time, and maybe they just couldn't pull it off. But the idea of them at the UHF station trying to make their low budget hamster horror movie, using the terrible, like, old school effects of, like, putting, like, a gecko in a room or, like, a little lizard in a room with people and making it look like a monster.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Because you and I love a lot of the same things. Do you have a favorite 1950s forced perspective giant animal movie?
I'm sad to say that I really don't. That's a world that I have only really seen from the sidelines, and I've never, as much as I love horror and I love a lot of that stuff, I've never gone into that very, very old sci-fi side of it. And it's been like something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I've never actually. You have a recommendation for me, Matt?
The Deadly Mantis is an absolute blast for me.
I'm familiar with that by name, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, Deadly Mantis, Scream Factory put it out on Blu-ray, and I was so thrilled. I used to get review copies of their stuff in the mail, and they sent me that and Tarantula on the same day, and I don't think I've ever ripped the cellophane off of a Blu-ray and popped it into my player quicker than, like, those two things showing up at my doorstep. Because I was just like, oh my God.
A good friend of mine collects a lot of the Scream Factory stuff, and I'm going to bet anything that he has that sitting at home right now, so I'm going to have to
grab those. They're
borrow
fun.
that.
And you know what's great about them? They're like 70 minutes long.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go. And again, clearly, like, as we've seen before with all of these things, this is obviously a big influence on young Al. Mm-hmm. And this song is just another example of Al taking these things, these sort of niche, culty pop culture moments that he loves, and bringing them back into the world in the form of these songs. And yes. I always love that. I feel like this is a song that shows us a lot about who Al is, his personality, what he likes himself, and he's just putting it out there, regardless of it being not, popular at the time.
Yeah. So I've picked my spot. I've made my decision.
You've made your decision. Okay.
I think it's still, I think this is perfectly in the middle for me. So I've put it in between Mr. Popeil and Velvet Elvis. So it's above, like I said I was going to do, it's above Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White, but it's still below Slime Creatures from Outer Space. That bass line in Slime Creatures from Outer Space alone does a lot of heavy lifting for me.
Don't, believe me, I'm right there with you on that Slime Creatures baseline. That is epic.
But how about you? You're a bigger fan of this than me, clearly.
I am. I'm gonna put it higher than you, but not a tremendous amount higher. I am putting it above Slime Creatures, but It occupies a similar space for me, so I'm gonna put it. I'm obviously we're not changing this about our show now, but a part of me sincerely wishes that we separated best original song. We separated true originals and style parodies, because I'm now starting to have the thing of like, it's a challenge. Like, I'm so impressed when he does a great style parody that like has a weight to it that's different for me than other things he's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think we also anticipated there was less true originals than there actually are. Like, in my mind, I would have been like, yeah, there's like Midnight Star and maybe one other song.
yeah, no,
but now
I think that there are a good few true originals. Having said that, I'm going to put this.
I also think we're nearing, while you're looking at that, I think we're nearing the point where the true originals become less and less frequent. Like, by the time you get to like Bad Hair Day, it is just parody style parody.
It's
like,
true.
So
It's true.
I
Yeah,
think-
no, he definitely gets more into that as it goes on.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it, you know what, because it just makes sense to me. I'm going to put it right above Slime Creatures. So for me, that puts it above Slime Creatures and just below This Is the Life.
All right. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair spot.
I considered putting it above This Is a Life, but as we all know, I am a strong defender of that song, even though you have it ranked way higher than me. I guess the music video is the
yeah,
thing that
you put the music video absurdly high.
Well, the music
For-
video is great.
It's movie clips.
I'm such a huge Johnny Dangerously fan, I gotta get my fix.
I'm a bigger fan of Johnny Dangerously than
I know you are. I didn't really like the movie that much, yet I love the video. I don't know why the video I find so charming. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's where that goes. I really do think this is a great. I'm on Team Lynn on this song. Obviously, I didn't put it at number one. I don't know if Lynn would actually put it at number one, but the fact that he shouted it out on the Tonight Show made me extremely happy.
See, but even if we didn't get Lin-Manuel on this episode, I wish we had a guest so that if we ever did get Lin, we could see what move he would make in the guest rankings with
That's
the
true.
song.
Well, you know what? If we start pulling guests that have won Tony Awards, maybe we can we can do a brief moment of retrospective. Like, hey, Lynn, just really quick. We understand you're a big fan of Attack of the Radioactive Hamsters from a Planet Near
explain
Mars.
yourself.
Go ahead, just 5 minutes to run this down for us.
If you want to do it in the form of a rap, that's fine too.
If you'd like to turn it into an original song, you'd like to contribute to our podcast, that would be totally fine. We're happy to share the royalties on that with you.
All right. Well, we will be back. Speaking of turning things into a rap, we'll be back next week with Al's first rap parody.
Well, second rap parody.
Well, Twister
Twister.
is a style parody.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. Oh boy, we should save this for next week. I'm already screwing up. All right.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.